Morning, Scott. Welcome back to Elst.
Morning. I have PTSD now
I'm
from
sorry.
playing this game.
We're halfway through. We're on campaign game date 3. I think at midday. No, midday. Um, I was able to break out of the polar finally. As you see here, I bought a bunch of Shermans, and I'm about to go
Bunch of
after your
Shermans.
Panthers.
My two little poor Panthers.
Hate those
Never
things
did.
with a passion.
They never did anything to you.
Not yet. They will soon. Yeah, my strategy here was now that I've broken out of the polder, gotten through the crossroads, it kind of opens up for me, at least in the north. So I bought some Shermans, and I think I had a couple left over. So I have 6 Shermans and a Firefly, and I'm going to go Panther hunting. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, you definitely started this game with an agenda because you just went right after it. There
Yeah.
was no messing around.
I probably sent you the save file, and you looked at it and went, oh, what's happening?
Yeah, I was totally surprised to see all your Shermans, and I mean it was obvious what you were going to try to do, and it's not like you had them, spread out or anything. So it was like, oh.
Yeah, here they come. So the infantry is pushing up the middle, right? That's probably no surprise there. I had a platoon way down in the south that was going to get a little sneaky, see what I could do with them. But my main focus was to try to dispatch your Panthers with the Shermans I've purchased. And here I'm moving in and taking shots, and I'm rolling swimmingly. 9, 10, 9, 9, 12. So I'm doing pretty good so far.
I told you got to start sending the Vassal Dice Bot some money,
I would
some Amazon
consider
Amazon gift cards or something.
I would consider sending them money if I knew where to send it.
Well, yeah. For me, I just gotta keep the front of my Panthers pointed towards you.
Right,
But
yeah, and I'm trying to either get a side on the south one there, kind of in the middle of the village there. I was trying to get a side shot. The one up north, I was trying to get around behind them as much as I could, even to take a point blank shot, but couldn't even hit you point
well, like
blank.
say your dice rolls. Yeah, you already malfunctioned the main armament on one of them.
Right.
So
And you can see in those row houses up in the north there, where I was making a push previously, I abandoned that and shifted all my units to the center setup area, and it was just going to push infantry up the center.
yeah, and where I had my setup area wasn't. Well, I don't know. It's right where we're at there, just east of the town hall. It's not a real good defensive area. So
No, no, where you have those 3 units, the 2 that are prep fired, the one with a light machine gun,
yeah,
just east. That's not a very good, what I would call a strong point. It's kind of a
no,
soft point because to get out of there, you have to run through a bunch of open ground.
yeah, no, it didn't have good fallback. But
Yeah, right.
I didn't. I hated to give up too much ground. But yeah, and I got a couple guys just south of the town hall. I was hoping they'd hold out a little longer, but you made quick work of them.
Yeah, I saw them. They looked to me kind of isolated from your guys and something easy to cut off. So, as you saw, when we were talking about the Shermans and whatnot, I made a quick run down there and assaulted those guys. I think fairly successfully, if I remember.
Yeah, it didn't take long. I just brought in my Volksgrenader company. I didn't have, thanks to my CPP replenishment points. I couldn't afford the extra point to have them set up on board. I had to bring them in.
Oh yeah, I think I think you forgot to bring them in. Actually, didn't we make a
Oh
compromise? Because
yeah,
I forgot to roll for my radio, and I said if I can roll for my radio, I'll let you bring them on.
that's right.
We both messed
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, I was real worried about losing both my Panthers here. So yeah,
I had you a little stressed out. Little
yeah.
did you know, So here I am. I'm fiddling around, trying to get behind you or to the
Yeah.
side and taking shots, and I'm just having zero success. You just start picking them off.
I know. I
Uh,
can't. I don't know how. I don't know exactly how it happened, but they both of them survived this initial onslaught.
yeah, I just rolled an 11 to hit. So yeah, I'm able to take the south one out or the middle one out eventually, but yeah,
Yeah.
they completely survived. Not because you really did anything, but because I couldn't hit
Yeah.
shit. I rolled a
No.
10. Yeah. Here I'm trying to
I
sneak one
kept.
around
Yeah.
behind you.
Yeah. That's. And then you bring the firefly up, and I just killed one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I can keep my, that's what you got to do is you got to get around on both sides of them.
Right.
Because if I can keep my front pointed towards you, there's nothing you can do. But if you got, you know, two or three on completely surrounded, then yeah,
Yeah. The Shermans, the base Shermans can't do anything against the Panther unless it's a rear or side shot. If it's a front shot, you can't get anything. The Firefly has a chance. If they get a turret hit on the front on a Tiger or a Panther, there's a chance, but you have to get a turret hit.
yeah, the this one down here, down in the center, you got one behind me, and the Firefly coming up the road.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do a non-turreted covered arc change, so I can get my front armor pointed towards the Firefly, and then my only the only thing I could think of was to run a couple Volksgrenaders up there and try and get a Panzerfaust on your other Sherman. And it
Yeah,
almost worked. Almost worked, but
I took a chance because I drove down right through the village, right past the church and around. I took a risk to do that because I knew you would bring some guys in either to close combat me or to Panzerfaust me. Now I don't remember what exactly took that Sherman E, I think whatever that is there, out, but he eventually gets knocked out by something.
I think it was the Sherman behind him. You're finally able to get a shot on him here, I think.
Yeah, I mean the Sherman that I brought around through the village, you
Oh,
eventually took it
yeah.
out with something. I just couldn't remember what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a Panzerfaust. So I got Major Super there in the CC whatever that number hex is, staring at a lot of open ground right now. So I think I'm
Yeah.
praying to get some smoke down because I'm not going to run him out there.
Yeah, I think up until this campaign date, you hadn't used a ton of smoke, really. And I think this is where it really paid off for you.
I think I used a little bit to get across the crossroads back there a bit, but yeah, this
Yeah.
is where I really started saying I'm just going to lay smoke down. Oh, there you're swarming that Sherman there.
Yeah. And you're setting up your
Oh,
OBA smoke.
there I got a hit, and I finally got a kill on that Panther. Got rate, and I flip around and shoot at the 7-0 leader, Volksgrenadier, and break them, trying to stave off the close combat or Panzerfaust.
Yeah, I was afraid I would lose the Panther, but I thought I would be able to, I wasn't expecting you to get rate, I guess. So.
Yeah. Your Panther up north made short work of those three. There's three Sherman
Yeah.
corpses around it. There's one just off map there to the
Yeah.
northwest that he also took out.
I think I basically got lucky. It was, yeah, all your bad dice rolls.
Did you take out my Firefly? I don't see it. I think you shot down that hex row. I screwed up and I stopped my Firefly and Hex Row AA, which was really dumb. Even though there's tons of hindrances, I think he shot down and took it out.
Oh yeah, I think I did too.
Shot right. I'm like, I'll just stop here. Oh, here we go. I'm
5.
dropping smoke.
Yep. Yeah. This is
Major Super's getting ready to move out, I think.
kind of where it all starts going downhill for the Germans.
And then in the south here, my goal was to take basically those units you see there and kind of hook up through the orchards, through those buildings, and kind of capture, at least get a setup area that links up with the south exit row area for me. Um, and it kind of worked, and then it stalls here later on. I couldn't really push.
Yeah, it's not looking. I mean, I think I was getting pretty disheartened at this point because you're basically taking the southern part of the map. Just seems like it just turns real quick. About every game, I can hold you up for a little while, hold you up, and then it gets ugly in a hurry.
Yeah. But as soon as I start getting smoke down, there's almost nothing you can do uh,
No.
to stop me because, especially if I drop smoke on you, I mean you're can't even see me most of the time, and I'm running around. And that's kind of the key to the British moving forward quickly with minimizing losses is smoke.
Yeah, I mean, the only defense against what you did, I mean, if I had 3 squads and a leader stacked in every building, it would make it a lot, it'd be more difficult for you. But
Hmm.
I didn't have the forces to do that, so
No.
it's like I'm just spread out really thin, and yeah, you drop smoke, you run a bunch of guys in there, I can't shoot at you. You jump into close combat, you got 3-1 odds, you take me out.
Yeah, Super's moving in there on the north side of the road. Although you were able to uh, stop Super at one point.
I
I
think
think
that, yeah, this is that's as far as you get this date.
I think I get one more hex.
Yeah.
Is it this? Might have been this date. You bring down your. I think you bring down your. Oops, there's a glitch there. I think you bring down your other Panther, and I think we're in close combat, and you actually take a shot at us. I think it's this game,
Oh
and
yeah,
you break
yeah,
even you break all your guys too,
that's right.
and we
Yeah,
scatter.
yeah.
And Starter Kit's funny about it's super simplified as far as broken units in the same hex.
Hmm.
You basically just have to route out. Okay, here he comes. Yeah, you're bringing him down. I think you just say fuck it, and then you just shoot into the same hex with your guys.
I think he ends up moving around more towards the town center. I think, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he hooks around. Yeah, you shoot at your own units, their morale should be like lowered by one the rest of the game. That's what I think.
It actually worked out good for me. So
Yeah, it did work out. Yeah, work out. It's kind of brutal, but it worked out for you. Looks like I'm getting ready to drop some more smoke.
more smoke.
Although I think I lose my radio at some point. Yeah, there's more. Drop some more smoke.
Looks like you still have there's one tank left down there. Is that the Firefly?
Not no. The Firefly
No.
corpse is right in front of it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just a regular Sherman.
He's hiding.
Yeah, at that point, I think I was kind of hiding. I think you get him though.
I did manage to kill your Sherman that took out my other Panther. Must have been a Panzerfaust.
Yeah, it's probably a Panzerfaust. Hit with a
I wish they try.
Panzerfaust is toast.
Yeah.
And I think I only have one radio, if I recall. So I only see one. I think I just had one this game. I think I spent my points on a bunch of Shermans. that didn't quite work out.
I thought you were laying smoke, but then it disappeared.
I don't know. Yeah, I thought there was smoke there for a minute, then it was gone.
Yeah.
We
I don't know
probably
what
screwed
happened.
up the OBA
Screwed
rules
something.
and yeah, pulled it or something.
You kept killing my guys and stealing their weapons. That kind of pissed me off after a while.
Well, in
You
refit
see all these,
phase,
you see all these black support weapons running around with these British guys.
and yeah, well, hell, they worked better than my British support weapons, at least when I used them. I don't recall using your your weapons often, and then I'd lose half of them during refit anyway,
Yeah.
because you have to roll for them.
Yeah, you're pushing hard in the center there. You're trying to get up through the smoke and
Yeah, ideally, let's see, it's on my turn 4. Ideally, I would like to get across that open area, but it's just not going to happen at this point because I see a lot of DM counters.
yeah, down south. I don't know how I ended up breaking all those guys, but
My British
some of
have
them I
morale
can
of 7,
mine.
but man, my rolls made them feel so
Yeah.
soft when we played this campaign game. I know they're not, but it sure felt that way. Yeah,
That's like your worst nightmare, a normal morale check.
yeah, cringe. Yeah, my guys are breaking all over again. This is kind of the story for the British. Push, 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 and then just attrition through morale. I just have broken guys everywhere.
Yeah, we got a melee going on there. Oh, somebody broke.
Yeah, I can't remember if I had super. He must be in there. But I have a huge. Oh, no, he just popped up again. I don't know what happened. But I'm getting ready to jump more guys in there, and here comes your. You're like, screw this.
Yeah.
I'll take care of this.
Uh,
I guess in the south, I did put. It must be the next campaign day. It just stalls. My southern push stalls. I made decent progression this date.
yeah, you were able in the south there. You were able to get like another hex row or so, but that was about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're about to take out my last Sherman there. He's just kind of hiding. It won't last long though. How come I'm not doing anything with my radio? I'm not dropping anything.
Well, it hindered you too, so I think you were, you know,
And I think I lost my
still.
radio right
Oh, it's
there.
gone.
Yeah, there was a slight jump. Maybe I forget to hit record and miss something, but the radio's gone. I think I broke it.
Yeah.
So I got one. I think I got one round of smoke off. It did get me through that clearing though. Oh, I got a wounded leader down below. I think he's a 6+1 now.
Yeah. Oh, he was a 5+2, wasn't he?
God, I don't know.
I think there was. We had a 5+2. I think that's him.
5+2. God. Or yeah, maybe he was a 6+1 before that and got.
Yeah, he got something happened to him twice. He got knocked down. He got wounded, and then I don't know.
He was horrible.
Oh, yeah, I took out your last Sherman.
Yeah.
I will be here pretty quick.
Oh yeah, I think I tried to maybe did a smoke. I think I tried to do smoke, but you still killed it. I think there was a smoke counter there. So there, I'm
Oh
jumping a
yeah.
bunch of guys into that melee. I didn't
Oh
jump
yeah.
super in there though. I'm like, I have this 8-1. I won't risk super. I tried. I was really paranoid about losing super, so I jumped that 8-1 in there instead. There, I think he
Yep.
just took a
Yeah,
shot.
shot, took a shot.
Boom!
Well, my thought was, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, they're gonna get smoked in close combat. So if I fire and I somehow get a KIA, what's the difference? But chances are, I mean, if I get lucky, I'll just get a morale check, and then
Yeah,
everybody breaks, and I rat away. And
and they did because I saw two 12s from me on morale checks. Scroll by on the right there. So yeah, I think
yeah,
most everything
yeah,
broke in there,
everything
including
broke.
you,
Yeah,
and we just kind of scurried like rats after that.
yeah.
Oh god, yeah, the whole stack is out.
Everything's. I think I ended up with a
Jeez,
leader left. That's right. I had a leader that survived.
is there?
That's why you
I
had to
can't
route
tell.
out. That's why you had to route out because
Yeah,
I had a
yeah,
leader. He's
that's right.
underneath your machine gun or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got. I think that back in the rear, that 8-0 leader hex. I think those guys are all broken. I got DM everywhere. I think we ended it there. I was like, we were starting turn 6. I
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna rally any of these guys. With what I have left, there's no way I'm gonna. I don't have a radio. There's no way I'm gonna be able to push across that road clearing into Elst. I think we both decided to just end it here because probably not much was going to happen after this. Because by the time I rallied everybody and could get them in position to push again, it probably would have been turn 7. You would have rolled up into the game anyway. So I think we just
Yeah, and
called it.
this was just so typical of pretty much every campaign date. You would you would always have the numbers, and it would start out. You would always had a plan, and you'd push hard, and then it would just kind of stall out. You know, you'd gain a little bit of ground, and you'd end up with all these broken guys. And
Yeah. I don't know what it was with morale in these series of games for this campaign game, but it was kind of crazy for the British.
yeah, I don't. It's a vassal dice spot, but yeah, I don't know. It's
I'm trying to figure out here at the end. I rolled 4 task checks. I can't figure out what that was for. Right at the very end. Or maybe I was just screwing around. I don't remember
hmm,
what that could have been.
I don't know.
But
I
hey,
remember.
I rolled a 12 for one of them. So
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, and it was weird because every time we played, it was like I'm just so spread out, and my numbers are so small. It's like I look at your force, I'm like, oh, there's no way I can hold you off. And then whether it was the vassal dice spot or whatever, but I'd lose a little bit of ground, but yeah,
and I don't,
the attrition would just kill you.
and I didn't even inundate you on this campaign date because I spent it on armor and artillery. I don't think I bought any infantry, but I learned my lesson. I was like, no more armor. Infantry.
Yeah, but you still wanted to kill my one last panther.
You
Yeah,
mean,
it was like
yeah, the very end, the very last date, I think I bought one last, I think I had the points. I bought infantry, but I think I had enough to buy one last company of Shermans.
you just I don't know what it was, but you just hated those panthers.
They did.
Poor little panthers.
Well, they kept me from, I mean, having one to worry about isn't as problematic, but when there were two, they're just so deadly, you know? And if I want to use my Shermans effectively to support infantry, I spend all my time worrying about positioning them for your Panthers because even if your Panther has a line of sight, all you have to do is hit me. and my Sherman's toast. So my goal was to try to get those two out of the way, and that would force you to spend more points on armor if you chose to, or I wouldn't have to worry about them, and I could use my Shermans for actual infantry support without worrying about it. But it didn't work out.
Well, yeah, and looking at this campaign date, having to set up first, I don't know what's coming. But
Yeah.
if I had known, I would have kept both Panthers all the way back up in the northeast corner of the map, right up against the back. Keep their backs to the edge of the map, and
Hmm.
then because you can't reach them in one turn, and
No. Yeah, when I saw that one you set up north, I knew I could get to him. The other one in the center was trickier to get, and it's funny that that's the one I ended up killing.
well, yeah, I thought I still had to protect my entry hexes up there, so I set up the same
Right. Yeah.
leader, squad, light machine gun, and a Panther up there, but
Yeah.
you'd given up on that, so
I
yeah.
bailed. I was too. I spent two dates spinning my wheels up there, and I think it'd be more effective if I just shifted everything and just pushed up the center.
I mean, it's hard enough for the Germans setting up, trying to defend. How are you going to defend all this, or what? The best way to defend what you have left.
Hmm.
But then having to set up first, it just makes it even harder.
Yeah, and they only capturing the north entry hexes, those three road hexes, right?
Yeah.
If I do that, you can't set up some of your reinforcement groups on board. They have to enter over on the east. But the only time that's effective is if you can capture those three road entry hexes on the north, like the first turn or first game or two, date or two. If you capture them late, it doesn't matter because you're going to be pushed so far back in the center
Yeah.
that bringing your units on the east doesn't hurt you if you have to. So I didn't capture those three road hexes in the first two dates, so I just gave up on it because you could have just brought everything in anyway, even after I'd captured them. It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of a takeaway if anyone is listening this far into the video, is if you can't capture, as a British, if you can't capture those north entry hexes the first two dates, just give up on it because they're not going to do you any good.
Yeah. And just like here, my Volksgrenader company had to enter down that road, and it worked out fine.
Yeah, and this is the third campaign game day. Yeah, so uh,
I mean,
be a,
if you get pushed back as the Germans, if you get pushed back a little more, though, it could be problematic. But at this point, it still worked out okay.
right. If you had to bring any armor, even infantry in, it didn't really affect you that much.
No.
So I think for each five of the dates that you're forced to play, well, I guess unless we both go idle, right? Or if I
Hmm.
choose to go idle more than I have to, I think I'm pretty much at my goal. I kind of had a how far I wanted to progress on average each date, and I'm kind of about where I want to be. To be any further back than this would probably be problematic
Yeah.
because uh, if you have too much ground to cover and you're towards the end of the campaign game and the last day or two, you're probably not going to be able to take the church and get everything off the board that you need to.
Well, that's what always blew me away playing this. This was like our first campaign game,
Hmm.
and each campaign date, there's like 5 of them, is equal to like a regular scenario.
Hmm.
And just like in this one, you went like 3 hex rows. I think you captured what, three, 5, 6 buildings, I think, but
I think
7
I
maybe. But I mean,
progressed. I progressed maybe. 6 hex rows. I think I started kind of where the town hall was. I was kind of in that area. The south,
Yeah,
I,
you
south, I
start.
pushed decently.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at it compared to like a regular scenario, and yeah, I don't know. To me, it's like
It's a
crazy.
grind. This
Yeah, it's just such a grind.
this is this scenario or this campaign game. I mean, it's the only one we played, but for the British to grind their way across the board, unless you can somehow completely break the German defenses, and I was never able. I was able to crack it a couple times, but I was never able to like completely break it and just overrun everything.
Well, you did I think in the last campaign date you did, but you ran out of time. It was
Yeah, it ended.
it ended.
Yeah,
If you'd had another, there was nothing left of the Germans. So if you would have
yeah.
had another 2, 3 turns, yeah,
hmm Yeah, it's probably how they balance situations from that, or to keep that from happening, is they put in the random uh, date, campaign game date ending roll, right? So it goes
yeah,
8 at max, but it keeps someone from completely overrunning the other one if the other player things go bad.
yeah, and it goes bad.
Yeah,
It goes.
yeah. Eventually it goes bad for one or the other.
Yeah.
But if you play the British and you consistently just push across the board and have goals that you want for each date, I don't see how the Germans can stop the British. It
Oh,
seems like it'd
they
be really
can't
hard.
really. Yeah, the Germans need just a ton of luck, really.
Or if the
The only
British player is super conservative and they just don't progress like they need to, because you'll get behind and you won't be able to recover unless you're pushing consistently across the board.
Yeah, that's how the Germans win. You know, they slow
Yeah,
them down enough. You know, you're not gonna beat them outright, but if you slow them down enough, they won't be able to meet the victory conditions. So
yeah. Germans want the game to end on turn 5 every date and
yeah,
delay them as much as possible.
yeah, and get a bunch of lucky rolls. And
Yeah, yeah. And probably utilizing off-board artillery. You didn't have it this date.
yeah, that's what I kicked myself in the butt most about playing this was I didn't. My focus should have been on OBA. It was it ended up being infantry and armor, but it should have just been OBA first and then infantry. But yeah,
Yeah, I think in the I thought about it a lot when we were working on the article. I think if you played your and I think you played your Panthers pretty good, but I think if you were really diligent about keeping the ass of your Panthers away from the British, you could you could keep your Panthers the entire game, and you could keep British armor in check with like 2 Panthers the entire game, and not buy any armor.
yeah. I mean, I thought about that too. If I would have held them back more, kept them east of the village, east of the church, and not got sucked into using them for infantry support, just more of a menace type thing.
hmm
Maybe just yeah. They could they
Or use them to cover fallback. You know, bring them up when you're ready to fall back, because there are some points in the game where the Germans just have to fall back, right? Because you can't stay toe to toe with the Brits, but use your
no.
Panthers to, when you're ready to do some fallback, bring them up as support to cover, and then fall back, and then you can pull them back again. But you risk, I guess, showing your ass to Sherman tanks if you do that too.
Well, that's the problem with starter kit. There's no reverse,
Yeah, he can't back up.
so yeah, you got to turn.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's. Yeah, you couldn't. You'd have to keep them grouped together so they can support each
Right.
other,
Yep.
and then keep them out of reach. But the line of sight is the hindrances are so horrible that I don't know. You could make them last the whole game, but they wouldn't be doing a lot. Because yeah, once you move them up to where they could do something, then they're within reach of your Shermans.
Hmm.
You know, one movement and they could encircle them, and then it's just the rodeo's on at that point.
Yeah. And I think you could keep the Shermans in check if you're in polar country. So anywhere north in that northeast area, uh, Shermans can get around you, um, get around your Panthers. If you keep them down in the village area, it was hard for me to get around. I was able to do it with one, but I had to bring them all the way up through those fields and down through the village and around the back.
Yeah, and I mean, I had 3 Panthers at one time, but I spread them out because I had so much ground to cover
Hmm.
that I was using them for basically for infantry support, and so they were spread out across the whole map. And then, but it just the south, you get cut off easy, and I think one game I had to run a Panther through there. You were shooting at it with Piats, and it was.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think I made it. I made it, but
I mean, it still worked for you for the most part. I mean, there's probably like 12. I haven't counted them. There's probably like 12 Sherman husks laying around the board
yeah,
at this point already. So,
yeah,
yeah, I had a real time of it trying to tackle your Panthers.
yeah,
Oh, cool. That's probably enough blabbering about this campaign game
yeah.
dates.
Enough blabbering.
We'll move on to date. This says date two. I'll have to fix that. It's actually date three. Date four. There's an idle in here somewhere, but
It was
we'll,
5 was idle, wasn't it?
yeah, I have to take an idle. Um, and you have an attack that you can purchase, but I have to take an idle. I took it on the morning, which is not. Maybe I didn't take it on the morning. That's a natural place to take it because you don't have to move any armor on board. Then I'd have to look back. I can't remember if I took it on the morning or the next date. But yeah, we have an idle date in here somewhere. But we have two more campaign game dates to do, and then we'll be done with Elst.
Oof.
And then your PTSD can start to subside.
No, no, I'm scarred for life with that.
Hmm. You'll be ready to replay
Else.
it, I know.
Anytime anybody says decision at else, I get a cold shiver down my spine. I want to curl up in the fetal position and suck my
Uh,
thumb.
it's just the hindrances and constantly getting beat back. That's all.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll do that next time. For now, we're done with this
sounds
one.
good.
Put it in the bag. We'll talk to you later.
Later.
Ciao.